Clay McKinney, Developer On-Ramp, Introduction to HTML. We are going through our simple example and adding the tags that every HTML document is supposed to have in order to be a valid HTML document. So right after the doc type, the next thing we have to add is the tag, HTML. Everything in your HTML document is in a giant HTML element. So the very first thing after the doc type is HTML, and the very last thing at the end is close HTML. All right, that is the HTML tag. Now the HTML tag, it also has let's see. We were yelled at when we validated. It says consider adding, it was a warning, it was not a validation error. Consider adding a lang tag, a lang attribute, sorry, to the HTML start tag to declare the language of this document. So this is a warning, it's not an error, but you know what, let's do it. And it wasn't in the template either. That's interesting. Lang. And to declare the language, this is an attribute. We haven't done an attribute before. An attribute is a property value pair. So the property here, the attribute name is lang, and then we have an equal sign, and then in quotes we put the value. That's how attributes work. It's attribute name equals quote, and then whatever they want the value to be, unquote. So it's kind of a property value pair. Now for the language, we need it to be English. I just happen to know that EN is the correct abbreviation. There's a bunch of these, and you can just look up and find what your native language that you're going to be writing your HTML pages. You can look up and see what the 2-letter abbreviation for that language is. All right, so we've declared our doc type. We've declared that this is an HTML. The whole thing is an HTML element, and we have an attribute on our HTML element that says our language is English. So I'm going to save that. In the browser, we won't see any difference. If I can find that file, here's the file. Boink. I did scooch it down a little bit, didn't it? I guess the HTML element actually had some padding on it. So that's interesting. You can change that with cascading style sheets, by the way, but we'll just leave it like that. Cool. All right, thanks.